Hi, friends. I'm Heidi with Onigo Stamping, and welcome to my craft corner. I am so excited that you are here tonight because I'm going to be sharing some elegant Christmas cards using the Leaves of Holly stamp set and the Boughs of Holly designer series paper. So, really excited to share those with you tonight. If you are here and joining me live, go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know where you are joining me from. Let me know if you are making Christmas cards this year and if you've started already. If you're watching the replay, welcome to you as well. I'm so glad that you are here and watching the replay. Leave me a comment. Let me know that you watched the replay and let me know if you are making your Christmas cards this year. Hello, Karen. Welcome. So glad you are here. All right. Before I go ahead and turn this camera around, if you didn't know, I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you don't already have a demonstrator, I would love to help you out. You can just contact me by emailing me or leaving me a message letting me know that you want more information or how I can help you. So you're just watching tonight. That's fine. Hello, Lori from PNW. And Jude, welcome. So in addition to that, every week I send out an email newsletter. And in my newsletter, I always include a free tutorial, some stamping inspiration, information about my upcoming classes, and I don't know, other stuff. If there's specials going on, I always let you know that. If something big happens, that's how I'm going to let you know first. So if you're not already on my newsletter list, I would love to have you come join it. If you're on YouTube, you can just hit the description to this video and you will find a link in there to get on my newsletter list. So, all right. Hello, Letitia. Welcome. I'm going to go ahead and flip cameras. Let's change my cameras around and we'll go ahead and get started. All right. And hopefully my camera puts up with me tonight. I forgot to charge it before I started. Normally, I try to make sure that my camera is well charged before I get going because it has been overheating. So that way I can unplug it. And I totally forgot tonight and realized just as I was about to go live that it was at about 8%. So it is plugged in now, and I'm hoping that it does not overheat tonight and cause problems. Oh, thank you. That is my University of Iowa nails. They are from Color Street. So yeah, they're just nail strips. I love them. If you don't know Color Street, I love it. It's a quick and easy way to get nice looking nails. All right, that was a total sidetrack. So Leaves of Holly, here's the stamp set. Isn't that cute? Really, really gorgeous. It does have coordinating dies, the holly and berry dies, and we're going to look at those in just a minute. And then it has a designer series paper that goes with it, which is the Boughs of Holly designer series paper. Isn't that so pretty? Oh, I love it. This is one side, and you can tell, you guys, I am down to like the very ends of this. But one side has all these poinsettia leaves and trees and I don't know, holly leaves, all sorts of stuff. And then the other side, I'm actually not going to turn this whole thing over because the smaller pieces are in front here. The other side has, of course, different patterns. So just really, really cool. Cool stuff. Hopefully you can see that. You get a whole bunch of different reds and greens and some like birchy looking patterns. So really cool. And actually this piece we have to use on tonight's card because that's how low I am getting on this paper. I've just been using it a bunch. So, and it's going to slide off onto the floor. All right. We're going to start with a super simple, easy Christmas card. So I am starting with a piece of cherry cobbler. This is actually 4 1/4 by 11 inches. I'm just making it a little bit different tonight. Something different, but it's the same. It still ends up being a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 inch card. So I just scored it at 5 1/2. I'm going to give it a good crease. There we go. And I'm going to start by adhering a piece of this designer series paper to the front. And this one is just that really pretty small poinsettias. So this card has a little bit of stamping, but it is mostly just using some of the pattern paper. And you guys, you know what I've left on my other desk? All of my clear blocks to put my stamps on. I knew I was forgetting something over there. So in just a minute, I'm going to have to pop up, go to my other desk, get all my clear blocks. This is the problem with my office being just in chaos right now. All right. So I'm just going to pop this piece on the bottom, just like that. Oh, so pretty. There we go. And then I have another piece of cherry cobbler, and I have another piece of the designer series paper. And I'm going to use the other side for this one, which has this really subtle polka dot pattern on it. Hi, Kimberly, welcome. So we're just going to adhere that to my little piece of cherry cobbler. Come on, I'm going to show you 2 cards tonight, and then I have a 3rd card to share with you too that I made, but we're going to make 2 kind of really pretty easy cards tonight. So this is just going to go on this little tiny piece of cherry cobbler. I just have a 1/8 inch difference in size. So whenever I do this, when I talk about layers, I just work in 1/8 and 1/4 type increments. So all I do is that I take this measurement, and then for the layer underneath, I just add 1/8 of an inch both directions. So, and I do that on my paper trimmer. Y'all, I don't like really do the math. I just put it on my paper trimmer, and then I go over 1/8 inch. So, all right, that's on there. I want to grab, I have some of the Simply Elegant gold cord, and I've already cut a piece. And I'm going to cut a piece of the silver threaded twine, the same length, which is pretty long. And then I'm going to pull this twine apart because this twine is really, really thick. It would be great for like packages and things just as it is. But for a card, it's too thick. It's too thick for a card. So I'm just going to pull it apart and just pull out 2 of those strands, which means that you can make this twine last a whole lot longer because you use it in little bits. But I like it instead of, my words are failing me tonight. Instead of the linen thread, it is, because it's twine, it's fuzzier. It's not as smooth, which gives it kind of a more rustic feel, which I really like. So that's why I like using it. All right, so I'm going to grab my gold cord. I've already pulled the center out of this, and I've actually pulled a couple strings out of this already too, because this is like the very last of my gold cord, but I'm getting more tomorrow, so it's all good. Running out. All right, so we're just going to pull this down, pull out one of these strings. It's really, really trying to like all curl up on me. So just kind of like letting it go and letting it release the tension a little bit. The red on red is subtle. Yeah, it is. It's really subtle, but really pretty. I really like it. So, all right, come on. Normally it goes a little better, but this was a really long piece. All right, so there's one piece. I'm going to go ahead and pull out a second one, if I can. Come here, little dude. All right. I'll just pull this down. Toot, toot, toot. Just pulling this and pulling this and pulling it. Pulling it some more. All right. So now I have 2 pieces of the gold, and I have 2 pieces of the twine. And I'm just trying to kind of get some of the kinks out of this, which doesn't work very well because it's kinky. It's been all like twisted up tightly. And so it is very, very, very kinky. That twine, or that cord. All right, so we'll just kind of line this up as best we can. This is why it's extra long, because I knew lining it up might be a little bit of a challenge. So, and I'm going to tie this around my little layered piece that I already made here. Now this does have silver thread in it, so if I wanted silver, I could have just pulled the silver thread from the twine, but I really wanted this one to be gold. So I want the bow to go this direction. Sometimes, you want the bow to go one way and it wants to go another. And sometimes you can make it do what you want, and sometimes you can't. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Because I do want the bow kind of going this way. And sometimes I use my Stampin' Dimensionals to kind of like tell the bow where to go. So we might do a little bit of that too. All right. We'll just set that aside for a minute and we'll play with it again in just a second. But I want to get to the fussy cutting. We're going to do just a little bit of fussy cutting. This is one of the images from the designer series paper. And I'm just going to cut this out. I roughly cut it out already, just to get it loose from the rest of the paper. And now I'm just going to take my scissors and just cut around this. I'm leaving a little bit of a border, so it's not like right on top of the leaves. But just cutting this out. So sometimes they give us dies that will cut out the images in the designer series paper, but this was not the case here. So, but that's fine. This was pretty easy to cut out. As you can see, when I am cutting, I am mostly moving the paper and the scissors kind of stay in one place. I kind of got my right arm really kind of anchored to the table over here and mostly moving the paper. And that just makes it easier to control where you're cutting. You can also just go ahead and trim off bits and come back in. Sometimes they start to get in the way as you're doing this. So just cutting very, very quickly. And I start getting mesmerized. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm fussy cutting, I just kind of like get into the groove of cutting. In a way, sometimes it's relaxing, except then my hands start to cramp up and I'm like, this is not relaxing anymore. It's painful. So, all right. So there is my cut poinsettias. Aren't those pretty? And these are just going to go over top of this bow. And that's why I wanted the bow kind of go in this direction. I'm going to pull it out a little bit and scooch it over just a little. So I kind of play with it and lay stuff on here until I get the placement that I want. That looks pretty good. All right, let's do a little bit of stamping before we get too far. So I'm gonna have to go grab my blocks that I have left over on the other table. Hold on. Let me see if I can reach them. I can't. I'm like all corded up here. All right, this is my bin of blocks. I have a lot of blocks now. Gifted with a bunch of extras, and so now I just have a lot, which is really nice. It's nice having a lot of extra blocks because you can kind of load up a whole stamp set on blocks and then be able to just stamp with it and not have to like sit there and swap back and forth. Just makes things go faster. All right, I'm going to use the stamp that says Season's Greetings. And we're just going to make a bigger block. So I just put it down on my grid paper. You can, if you care, there are differing opinions on this. If you care to get your stamp on your block straight, you can line this up with your grid paper, okay? And then line your block up with your grid paper. And then you kind of know that your stamp is on there straight, which is really nice. I personally, when I stamp, I don't really care if the stamp is on there straight, because when I go to stamp, I don't look at this block, I look at the stamp. So I'm looking at that stamp when I go to stamp it to see if it's straight instead of looking at the block. So, but I know different people do it differently. All right, so I'm just gonna grab some shaded spruce ink and I'm gonna stamp this with shaded spruce. So just lightly tap, tap, tap. And then stamp it right on a little piece of basic white. And actually, it doesn't even matter if it's straight because we're going to cut it out with a die cut. So there's our little Season's Greetings. And then let's grab the dies. So these are the Hollyberry dies. Let's take a look at these. They're so cool. Just trying to get stuff out of my way. So there is a bunch of different stuff in here. There's leaves, 2 different leaves with insides and outsides. The outsides cut the stamped leaves from the stamp set, but then you can also just put the insides with the outside, cut them both, and make a layered leaf, if that makes sense. And then there's this label one with some leaves on it. There's this that cuts a piece to go under those leaves. And then what I'm going to grab is I have this little label here too. So we're going to use that one to start with. And I pulled out my mini cut and emboss machine tonight because I think this whole set fits on a mini machine, which is kind of nice to know. So that's why there are clear blocks. Yes, to put your stamps on. And that's why I like having lots of them. All right, so here we go. And I'm just going to lay this on here. I'm going to grab a little piece of washi, if I can find one. Just some old washi from my bin. And I'm going to take this washi is pretty sticky, so I'm just going to stick it on my jeans and just kind of get it a little bit less sticky because I don't want it to rip my paper when I pull it off. So then I can just line up my die where I want it and stick that down. And then we'll put our other number 2 plate on top, right? So there's a number 1 plate, a number 2 cutting plate, and then another number 1 plate. Now I always use, or another number 2 plate. I always use the same number 2 plate for cutting. And then I always put the same number 2 plate on top for going on top. That gets all the cut lines into the same one. And that one's going to wear out faster. And then you can take them and get a new one and kind of rotate through them. So I'm just lining this up in my little mini machine. See if I can get it started. Sometimes the mini machine is a little bit hard to get started, but there we go. So we'll just roll that through there. You can't see me, I'm cranking over here. Roll that through, and then it comes out the other side. And we can just pull this off, pull off our washi. Hopefully it doesn't tear. There we go. Set that aside and use it again. And there's our little tag. So let's finish putting this card together. Somewhere I have some dimensionals. I need to grab my minis because we're going to put this right up here. Let's see if I can get one. Pop one down here under the downside, right? Yeah, under there. And then the other ones I'm going to put up here. So I kind of just put my fingers on there so I know where I'm going. And then I like to just try it. When I'm going over a bow like that, I just like to try it out. How is it? Is it pretty okay? Is it supported? Does it work well? You know, all that kind of good stuff. This is going to go on right there. And we'll just pull these little backs off. And then this is going to go right over our bow. There we go. Oh, so pretty. Let's trim up some of these ends now. Now that I know exactly what this bow is going to be. Those ones are pretty short already. And then this, I'm just going to adhere right to another piece of real red. So you're welcome, Letitia. So this is Cherry Cobbler, and I'm putting it on real red. So we're getting red on red, which is a little, I don't know how you guys feel about putting the same tone, like a different shade of the same color together. But they were both used in the paper, and I'm just really going off like these polka dots that have these 2 same really subtle colors. So we're putting Cherry Cobbler on top of real red, and I'm just going to hold this for a minute because that twine is in there. It does make it a little bit thick, which means I'm just holding down the bottom until it adheres, giving it just a second. So I chat and talk. Just kind of pushing that down. Isn't that cute? All right. And then we're going to take our season's greeting, and this is going to go right up here. Oh, so pretty. I'm just going to put some dimensionals on one end of it. because the other end is going to go on top of our poinsettia. So let's just make sure that's good. It is. I'm going to add a little bit. You can see that's not sticking down. Add a little bit of adhesive. Sometimes you can pull out the clear blocks and just like put the clear block on the adhesive, and that will help hold it down till it dries. And I'm getting more green glue tomorrow. Oh, thank you guys. Yes, it's very elegant. We're going to add a little bit more sparkle to it too. So there we go. That's just going in there. This is going to go up here. We're going to add some dimensionals up here. So just pop those on. Go ahead and use my take your pick tool to pull these off. It's a little bit faster. When you're doing a whole bunch of card making, this does come in a little bit faster. If you just got a couple, it's not really a big deal. All right, so this is just going on my card front, just like that. And then I did grab this for the inside, and I forgot to grab the inside papers. Y'all are laughing at me as I try to grab things. I got to get all to one desk again. Yeah, you don't have the dies? Oh, I love these dies. They're so pretty. All right, so I just have a little piece of the designer series paper. I think I'm going to put it this way, actually. So I'm just going to put it on the side of my interior. This is one of my favorite tricks for the inside of your card because, you guys, I like to have a pretty inside of my card, but let me tell you, I always put my stamps away before I remember that I need an inside to the card. So this is just a really quick and easy. And there are little bits of twine on my paper. This is just a quick and easy way to put a little bit of decoration inside your card if you don't feel like getting your stamps back out, because that's usually how I feel. I'm like, oh, I washed them already. I don't want to get them dirty again. So, and then I'll just trim off that end, and this can just go inside my card. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are liking this card. Super easy. Like I said, there's not a lot of stamping on this one. There's not really a lot of stamping on the other one either. We're going to make one more. Hopefully it goes a little faster. We'll see. Oh, I forgot the ribbon for that. You guys, I'm forgetting everything at my other desk. We'll see. I have to see how this goes. All right. So this is just going to go in here for just a really pretty inside. Isn't that fun? So pretty. Let me hold that up just a little bit. Oh, we forgot. I'm going to put some more sparkle on here. Let's step it up even further. So I'm using the new gold swirls. This is part of the Fitting Florets collection. And these are going to be available in November. Oh, they're so pretty. If you're a demonstrator, you can get them now. If you can't wait until November to get them and you're not a demonstrator, you can join Stampin' Up and put them on your starter kit. You get $55 worth of product for only $99, which is just like an amazing, unbelievable deal. So I highly recommend it. Even if you never do anything again, you can just grab that great deal. All right, so we're adding just a few of these on here. There we go. And there is our card. Doesn't that just add a little bit of something? Oh, thank you, Linda. I'm glad you like it. All right, let me pull this up and show it to you. Oh, so I just add those gold to the insides of the flowers, the centers, and then just a little couple extras. So really fun. And I love the mix of the twine and the gold together. All right, next card. For the next card, I think I'm actually going to start by doing a little bit of die cutting. I want to cut out, well, no, let's do some stamping first because we're going to cut out some leaves. I'm going to pull out this one, and I'm going to pull out the small open one. I'll set my dies aside. I'm going to pull out my stamps. So I'm going to use the small stamps. Now, these are two-step stamps, which means there's an inside and an outside. This is the kind of detail part. I gotta get to my blocks. So that's my detail one. And then here is like the outside, the blobbier one. There's no real good name for it. You can't wait to use this bundle. Oh, I love this bundle. It's so much fun. By the way, those of you who signed up for the October card class, those went out in the mail today. So they're supposed to get there Saturday or Monday. And then if you are signed up for the October card class and you are signed up for, I say this right, and you are signed up for the Christmas card class, those went out together. So if you sign up for both, those went out together. If you just signed up for the Christmas card class, the rest of them are gonna go out either tomorrow or Saturday. So I got a few more to get in the mail. I was running out of time and I needed to get the card class ones in the mail. So I just kind of ran those over. All right, so I'm starting by stamping the outside with some old olive. We're just gonna make 2 of these leaves. There we go. And then I'm gonna grab my Mossy Meadow. We're gonna do the inside, the kind of detail portion of it. So ink this one up. Give it a good ink. And now I'm gonna look right over the top of this as best I can and try to line up all of the little parts. We'll see how we did. Ooh, not too bad. A little bit off, but not bad. And we'll do the same thing on this one. It's a little bit hard when I'm on camera and I can't get like right over my stamped image. So we'll see. Ooh, that one was even better. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love these leaves. I love these stamped leaves. So there's the leaves. We're going to go ahead and cut these out and grab the cutting plates again. So I have my number 1, and then I have my number 2 cutting plate. Now this, when you're cutting, you want to flip this over and rotate it pretty often. That's going to help keep it flatter. So then we'll take my stamped image, and I'm going to take the die. We're going to have to run this through twice. So we'll just go ahead and take the die and line that up. I'm going to put my washi tape back on there again. And then I put my other number 2 plate on top, and we'll just run this through. If you can't get it started, you can take your top plate and just move it back a little bit, and that'll help you get it started. So there we go. And that just rolls right through. There's our first leaf. Now we'll see if we can cut my leaf and my label at the same time. I'm just going to trim off my edges, make this shorter. So we'll put the leaf down here. Line this up again. And this is a hole. It's to help punch out the bottom if it gets stuck. But you can also kind of see through that sometimes to see if you have the stem lined up a little bit. Like you can't really see, but you're like, okay, it's darker. It's not white there. All right, here is my label. Does this fit on here? Not quite. Just looking for a piece of scrap. I was hoping it would fit. I was hoping my label would fit on that one, but it doesn't quite fit. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut a piece of paper with my trimmer. That should have been over there. Okay, what'd I do? Oh, I was using it over here today. I hope that this office gets finished with its rearrangement very soon. I don't know though, because I'm super busy this weekend, so it might not get done this weekend. It might not get done until Thanksgiving. Who knows? All right, so we'll just put this piece on here, and now I have my label die on there. All right, so I got both my dies. We'll put our number 2 plate on top, pull back in our mini machine, and then go ahead and run this through again. And I'm just going to slide my top plate back a little bit. Sometimes these are just hard to start because you can't get your hands on it quite right. And it's so lightweight, which is good for traveling, but it means that it really doesn't stay down on the table. So let's try it this way. Oops. All right, cutting fail tonight. We'll get it. We'll get it eventually. Let's try it this way again. Kind of got to push and get it lined up at the same time. Oh, come on. And put some muscle into it. All right. So now we have like my label here. Isn't this cute? So cute. And these little pieces come out. Now you could, there is a piece that you could cut and put underneath this. But for this card, I don't want it. I just want to leave it open. So it did not give me a very good cut. I have to take this to my big machine or run it again, because this is very detailed, and I think I just should have ran it through twice. So come on. Hopefully we can get this out without ripping, and then it will be okay. There we go. Get these bits out. This part right in here, it's just did not cut through. There we go. Ah, there we go. All right. And these are coming out better, maybe. Just a little bit in the center there. Sometimes that happens. If this happens to you, just run it through a couple times. If it still isn't coming out, excuse me, if those pieces still aren't coming out, you can put like a piece of copy paper on top of your sandwich, on top of your layers here, and that will help it come out. That will help it give it a little bit extra pressure to cut that out a little bit better. All right, so there's our label and our 2 leaves. We'll just take this one out too. There we go. All right. All of this put aside. Let's start putting this together. So I'm going to put the label actually like this on this card. And we're going to put joy and peace on here. So I'm going to go ahead. You guys, I put extra pieces in my cases. This is your first time watching. I put extra pieces in my cases. So I have the little ampersand and the joy and the peace are all separate. And I'm going to just put them on my block together. So I am going to put these on, I'm going to lay them on my grid paper, because then I can kind of see through and get them straight so that they are straight with each other. There we go. I'm just getting them nice and close to each other. And we'll pick them up with our block and we'll look and see how this is. I'm going to use soft suede. Now I have the sniffles because I sneezed. So let me see, can you guys see this? So we'll just stamp right here. That looks pretty straight, I think. So now I'm going to ink this up in some soft suede again. And just put this right in the center of my tag. So it says joy and peace. And now we can put this together. I do have to grab some ribbon. Move my whole desk back. Here. So I have a big bucket of ribbon. This is my bucket of ribbon. I need this one. This comes as a combo pack with the old olive, and this is like a Sahara sand ribbon. So we're going to use, I'm going to start. I have a piece of that Birch Designer Series paper, which, oh, so pretty. And there you can see the poinsettias on the back of it. So I'm just going to layer this on a piece of Sahara sand. Gotta think sometimes. All right, there we go. Oh, I don't know, I just like the look of this. It's just pretty. All right. And then I just want a little piece of, and of course, yeah, my tape's on the other table too. Everything is on the other table. I'm gonna use some tear and tape. Normally, I was just gonna take some Scotch tape and tape down the back, but since my tape is on the other table and I'm tired of scooching across the room to go pick it up, I'm just gonna put some tear and tape on here. Pull that off. And then this, I'm just going to kind of put it towards the bottom-ish. And it'll just go right on there. There we go. And then we're going to add our leaves. So these leaves are going to come up here. And our little tag is going to come down here. So these are all going to kind of layer up like this. Not pretty? So pretty. So I always like to lay things out first before I start gluing, just so I get an idea of where they're going to go. Even though I already, I made a sample card of this already, so I know what I'm doing. But even so, I like to lay it out and just see exactly where things are going. Hello, Pat from Alabama. All right. And of course, with the green glue, I do get a little bit of wiggle room. So if I need to scooch things a little bit, I have a little bit of time that I can do that. It does dry pretty quickly though, so you don't get very long. So, but you can see I just scooched that one over a little bit. We'll try this out. Perfect. All right. So now I'm going to glue down this. And I'm going to pull out my silicone craft sheet because this is very, very thin pieces and I'm going to end up making a mess. I pretty much guarantee it. All right, so we'll put down some glue here. I'm just going to get a little bit of glue, literally just like picking it up off of the bits that I have already put glue on, and just using the tip of the applicator just to put a little bit on these little skinny bits. Because otherwise you just get too much. It gooshes everywhere. It turns scary and sticky. So just picking up little bits of that and kind of spreading it around on the skinny parts. You could also get out a sponge and do it with a sponge. But if you don't know me, I tend to be a little bit lazy at times. Kind of like goes back to the, I don't want to get my stamps dirty. I just cleaned them. So the green really pops, doesn't it? Isn't that pretty? I think these could be done a little bit further, but that's okay. All right. Kind of missed. There we go. So now we're gonna grab some dimensionals. This card is almost done. And remember, I got one more card to share with you too, so don't go anywhere. Because we got another card. My husband said he liked it. So my husband has been telling me, my husband critiques my cards, which is fine. Some people like some things, some people don't. And I made some cards and he said they were kind of too busy. And then he's like, no, it's not so much they're too busy, because the other card I'm going to show you is pretty busy. He just doesn't like the images in the paper, which is fine. He doesn't have to. So, all right, I have another piece of 4 1/4 by 11-inch cardstock. Somewhere I have a bone folder. We'll give this a nice crisp fold with a bone folder. And then this just goes right on the front. Just like that. We're going to add a little bit of bling to this. I can find my bling. All right. So I have some of the red rhinestone, and we're just going to add these to as the berries to my holly. So we'll add like 3 there. And maybe, I think I put 1 on there, but let's go ahead and just do 2 right there. So there we go. There is our second card. Let me hold this up for you so you can see it a little bit better. Isn't that pretty? Just very simple, relaxed, elegant, you know, not too girly, just pretty. All right, let me show you the other card I made. This one's pretty simple too, but I was like, oh, I can't do everything. So here it is. And here you can see I have die cut those leaves. So here you can see I die cut the insides of the leaves. And then this one I actually, so this is the part of the tag, and you can see there's green under there. And I cut that piece that goes under the tag that I was telling you about. And then I cut out the berries too. So, and added some more twine under there. So really, really pretty, easy cards. You know, really great for sending out for Christmas. They're not, you know, all girly. They're just kind of really elegant looking. So the holly leaf stamp is amazing. It really is. I love it. I just love those holly leaves. They're so, so pretty. I've made some other cards with this set too. And I just love them. I love them, y'all. I love them. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. I'm going to be back next week, Tuesday. Next week, Tuesday, is the October card class. If you are registered, you're going to get your card kit in the mail this weekend or Monday. They went out today, so the computer told me they would be there by Monday. I don't know if you follow my Instagram stories, but if you do, you know that I have lost a week in October. Not sure where it went. But on Monday of this week, I thought I still had like a whole extra week, like 2 weeks before the card class. And I was like, no, it's next week. So I was running a little bit late. Those went out in the mail today, though, and they should be there by Monday, if not on Saturday. And we're going to be using the Big Hooray stamp set, which I'm really excited about. So if you're not registered, you're still welcome to come and hang out with us on YouTube and watch the cards being made. And that will be next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Besides that, you know, like and subscribe if you like this video and you want to see me more often. Make sure you don't miss anything. Thank you, guys. I'm so glad you like them. And don't forget, if you want to get the best deal on Stampin' Up, you want to get $155 worth of product for only $99, which is amazing, and free shipping, amazing. The best deal is the Stampin' Up Demonstrator Starter Kit. There's no obligations. You don't have to sell anything. You can continue buying at a discount for as long as you remain active. But otherwise, you could just take the kit and run too. So it is a really fabulous deal, and I would love to help you get that as well. All right, I think that's it. I will see you all next week. Have a fabulous weekend. Do some fun stuff. Hopefully the weather's nice where you are, and go out and do some fun fall stuff. I'll see y'all later.